Hello people, I'm here in the world of darkness to tell you a little bit about the various clans that inhabit the world. Now, I apologize for any pronunciation errors that do happen. Today is a bit of a doozy. We're going to talk about a clan that is known more for their violence than, well, anything else. Throughout Canaanite history, the Assamites have been known as fierce warriors. They also have a penchant for diablerie, that the Camarilla believes so dangerous as to have the Tremere curse them. They are known to have many skilled assassins amongst their ranks, but is there more to this clan? Before we delve into their past, we're going to talk about their general location. The Giovanni that have been mentioned previously are an independent clan, much like the Assamites, who are also referred to as just the Assassins by quite a few Canaanites. Where the Giovanni seek to build power and wealth, the Assamites traditionally sell themselves as mercenaries to whomever is willing to pay their blood price. This doesn't mean that they have no ancestral home, however. Their Antediluvian Hakim saw fit to prepare an area for his people to settle away from other vampires, so that they could become a neutral clan not terribly involved with the petty squabbles that plagued kindred society. He ventured forth into what was known at the time as Akkad to prepare the Middle East for his children. Now, Akkad, or more specifically the Akkadian Empire, was composed of a large swath of what we know as ancient Mesopotamia. The location of the crown city that the empire drew its name from is of much debate among historians, but that wouldn't put it too far from Enoch, the first city that sheltered kindred in the ancient times. The Akkadian kingdom stretched from the Persian Gulf through modern-day Kuwait, Iraq, Jordan, Syria, through the lower part of Asia Minor to the Mediterranean Sea and Cyprus, and possibly even further depending on what scholar you ask. Why is this important? Because the fabled home of the Assamites, Alamut, could be anywhere along this incredible stretch of land. There is also a piece of land that shares the same moniker as the home of the clan. It was located in what is now modern-day Iran. The land is characterized by dense forests and barren deserts, but one interesting side note is in its history. A few groups kept strongholds in this area of Iran. Many of these stone fortifications are in a state of disrepair, but among the ancient ruins, there might be one structure that is still in very good use. Odds are no one outside of the clan has ever found it and lived to tell the tale, but if there are those who have found the fabled Alamut, they're most likely sworn to secrecy, on penalty of death, of course. Now that we have the logistical side of things worked out, let's talk about Hakim. Much like Alamut, there are two prevailing theories on the Antediluvian's origin. The only common thread among them is the fact that his skills as a warrior far surpassed others of his kind. The first belief is that Hakim was a warrior hunter who traveled with the herds of migrating animals. His hunts led him across the ancient world, where he developed a keen interest in scholarship. The roaming huntsman would soon learn to read and write, and even speak the language of the dead. His aptitude at the hunt and his intelligence brought him the attention of one of Cain's children. It's not known who exactly this second-generation vampire was, but considering a certain beautiful vampire's penchant for embracing hunters, we could assume that it was Zilla. Afterwards, he became one of the first city's defenders. The second tale is a far darker one. In this rendition, Hakim is a mortal who served under the king and queen of the first city, who had been embraced by Cain. They soon became evil and cruel with their transformation, and Hakim decided to cut their heads off. He then held their heads up high and drank the liquid that spilled forth from what was left of their necks, thus becoming a vampire. It's impossible to tell which variation is right, and that's probably what Hakim would have wanted. Regardless, the future Antediluvian was well skilled in the art of war, so much so that after the Great Deluge, or what many would call the Great Flood, which destroyed the first city of the vampires, he was appointed into a leadership role in the second city. Saulan, who is the founder of Clan Salubri, insisted that Hakim be the city's judicator, who would also be in charge of the city's defenses. To which, after much discussion, the others agreed. Maybe it was due to Hakim's nature that Salat so vehemently argued for the progenitor of the Assamite clan. He much preferred to promote neutrality as opposed to the squabbling that so many kindred participate in to this day. Regardless, he proved himself up to the task. His first act was to reorganize the structure of his own clan, something few outside the actual clan know about. Most kindred hear Assamite, and they immediately think of fearsome warriors or assassins. So much so that not many vampires know that the kindred dedicated to battle consist of only a third of the clan's number. For you see, their ranks also include the viziers, who were scholars. Their entire purpose was to serve Hakim as advisors, able to help strategize and organize. These studious vampires are known to pursue their studies with such zealousy that they will often completely forget all about other activities. The sorcerer caste, on the other hand, was created to do exactly what their namesake suggests. In fact, this part of the clan was not immediately implemented, but created as a reaction to a group called the Bali. The Bali are going to be glanced over since they could be considered their own technical clan. The Bali, despite what's said about them today, could be called infernalists at this time. You know, the thing that the Salubri were accused of? Well, these guys are the real deal. Word spread of their leaders trying to awake a slumbering demon with mass human sacrifices. Salat dispatched 4 scouts to see if these heinous tales were true. Of the 4 sent to find out what was going on, only 1 made it back. His physical and mental wounds so great that the peaceful Salat took up arms against them. Hakim was soon to follow. The Bali's infernal magic quickly proved to be troublesome for all those who fought against these mysterious kindred. Hakim and his scholars needed to devise a counter to their enemy's greatest weapon. That is where the sorcerers came into play. With the newly formed caste and the assistance of the other clans, the Bali's plans were ultimately thwarted, but not for long. As the other clans continued to bicker, the Assamites kept the Bali on the defensive. Their dedication would sadly be their undoing. Angered, the Bali made a desperate move. With their magic, they captured a band of warriors and placed a curse on them that would soon travel on to the other members of the caste. They were cursed with a thirst for another vampire's blood. Diablerie is one of the most heinous acts a vampire can commit. The Tremere are still judged for what they did to Salat, and here you have an entire clan thirsting for what courses through other kindred's bodies. You can receive Vitae without killing another kindred, but therein lies an opportunity for the warrior to become stronger and perhaps bring themselves closer to their leader. Needless to say, this newfound thirst didn't endear the clan to other kindred. Eventually, Hakim grew tired of the constant squabbles of his people and took his clan to Alamat, where they are largely based out of to this day. The world of darkness has not been kind to the Middle Eastern clan. Given a horrible curse by the Infernalists, the Dark Ages did not show them any favor. During this time, they earned their name as mercenaries. They fought for whoever would pay their price and spread tales of the Assamites as horrific warriors and diablerists. These tales persist throughout kindred knowledge to this day, as well as the positives and negative effects of those tales. The positives would include the omission of the other 2 castes, so no one would assume that mages belonged to their ranks, but the negatives have seen their kind be stringently watched while in the company of other Canaanites. With the large droves of warriors now getting involved in the politics of other kindred, so did the ire of Hakim grow. Eventually he left Alamat on a journey that no one knows much about. At times he would return and speak to his people, but it has been quite some time since the Antediluvian has graced the hallowed halls of Alamat, where many worship him. They seek to grow closer to him through diablerie. His thoughts on the matter are open to interpretation. However, the children of Hakim have laws to guide them in their own lives. The laws of Hakim, as they are called, are as follow. 1. Law of leadership. Honor the eldest among you. for he is to rule my house when I am absent. Law of protection. Ward the mortals from Cain's descendants, and treat them with honor in all things. 3. Law of destruction. Slay not those of the blood, for that judgment is for the eldest alone. 4. Law of the word. Deceive not those of the blood, for my house is founded on truth. 5. Law of judgment. Judge those of Cain's blood and punish them, should they be found wanting. The Victorian Age showed their waning strength and didn't really see them take on much of a role in the schism that appeared in kindred society. The Tremere used them and the Salubri to earn a place in the Camarilla. The Tremere levied a second powerful curse against the Assamites that curbed their need for vitae. It wasn't through removing the thirst for the blood, however, but by making it incredibly dangerous for an Assamite to attempt to diablerize another vampire, thereby ruining the plans of many warriors to grow closer to their founder through the treacherous act known as diablerie. If only the clan wasn't made entirely of vicious assassins that were so focused on battle that they couldn't accomplish tasks in other areas to alleviate the curse. Oh, yeah, that's right. There's an entire 2 other castes that excel in the realms of scholarship and wizardry. The solution that was found involves refining the blood of kindred into an alchemical solution that could then be consumed relatively safely. If not for this, the Assamites would no doubt be consuming other vampires, and it would go unchecked, as many would follow the law of judgment and punish those vampires who they have found wanting. Let's be honest, in the world of darkness there are a lot of Canaanites who would fall into that category. The backgrounds that many Assamites come from can depend on the particular caste that they have been drafted into. Each caste has their own wants for an initiate. Due to the location, most Assamites are from a Middle Eastern Arabian origin. Many can also claim North African ancestry. Many are also devout Muslims. This, however, does not mean that all Assamites are Muslim. Some are Christian, some are Jewish, others revere Hakim as a religious figure himself, and others just choose to follow the path of blood. Despite their diversity, they are a tight-knit clan that does not often find themselves in conflict with each other, perhaps due to the abundance of enemies outside of their clan or due to the lasting influence of Hakim and his neutral beliefs on Canaanite politics. They follow the rules of their superiors. If there are no superiors present, they still ultimately must heed any orders from Alamut. A person known as the Old Man of the Mountain's orders trickled down throughout the ranks of the Assamites, who rarely turn against their own people. The clan's disciplines can vary by caste, but are generally considered to be celerity, obfuscate, and their own personal discipline, quietus. Celerity allows vampires to move with astonishing swiftness, becoming practically a blur. The Assamites use their speed in conjunction with stealth to strike quickly and viciously from the shadows before they're noticed. Obfuscate is the ability a kindred can use to conceal themselves from sight. Quietus is a discipline that focuses on the destruction of a target through various means. Silence of death. One particular skill causes them to radiate an aura of mystical silence. Those who frequently make use of this power claim to have never heard their target's death screams. A silent death, whereas Dragon's Call allows a vampire to drown their target in their own blood. No matter the situation, the discipline of Quietus offers a myriad of solutions. The assassins believe that the Tremere possess the power of Solomon, but it makes them none the wiser for it. Eventually, vengeance will be theirs. That concludes the lore on the children of Hakim, but there are rumors that a Methuselah has recently joined their ranks during the final nights. This ancestor sorcerer claimed to be the herald of Hakim and forced many, on penalty of death, to renounce their religion. Some did, some left, a lot died. But an assassin, Fatima al-Fakadi, is said to have encountered Hakim and was allowed to live despite her beliefs. Was this a test by the master of the Assamites himself, or a betrayal by the first sorcerer? Who knows? Thank you for watching.